Down, won't be really bad, but attention. Coming for lead left hook upstairs.
The way he's acting now, like, it's like completely different than. It's just like, dude, you could just tell, like, he's doing it.
Chaos broke out like never before at Los Angeles International Airport when Ryan Garcia and Rolando "Rolly" Romero ran into each other in a heated confrontation. What should have been a normal day turned into a dramatic scene as the two fighters, who have a fierce ongoing rivalry, came face to face. The excitement surrounding their upcoming match grew even stronger as they made it clear that their fight, set for the coming months, will be one to remember. Both fighters are determined to make sure fans know that this showdown will be worth the wait.
Like I said, at the end of it, he at 140, I'm at 140, and I have the belt, you have to come get the belt, and that's a fight that everybody's been asking for forever, and all I know is that fight is the biggest.
Witnesses described the encounter as intense, with both fighters trading harsh words before the situation quickly turned physical. Though the confrontation was short, it was enough to reignite their long-standing rivalry, bringing their bitter history back into the public eye. Fans were shocked by the unexpected clash, but this was just another chapter in a story full of trash talk, drama, and missed opportunities.
The former judoka tries to hold on. Now it's... There's a count.
When Rolando "Rolly" Romero stepped in to fight Ryan Garcia on May 2nd, it wasn't exactly the matchup fans were hoping for. Garcia was originally scheduled to face Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz, which had the boxing world buzzing. However, Cruz decided to focus on his own fight against Angel Fierro on February 1st, leaving Garcia without an opponent. Romero, known for his loud personality and polarizing style, wasn't the first choice, but he ended up being the backup for the main event on the star-studded card at Times Square in New York City.
But he has power. You've seen it before, but again, he's
a tremendous fighter. He's a tremendous fighter. The only people he cannot be happens to be myself, Gervonta Davis, and depression.
For Rolando "Rolly" Romero, this fight represents a chance for redemption. The former WBA light welterweight champion has struggled to earn respect in the highly competitive 140-pound division. His most recent high-profile fight, a one-sided loss to Isaac "Pitbull" Cruz on March 30th, raised doubts about his ability to compete at the top level. In that fight, Romero was knocked out in the 8th round, a humbling defeat that highlighted his weaknesses. Critics quickly labeled him as a lower-tier fighter, and his spot in the main event of this upcoming card has been met with a lot of skepticism.
He's not sitting duck for it, and you notice that Romero's getting under that count.
The future.
Rolly Romero, Ryan Garcia would be an amazing fight. Me and Ryan sparred way back when. We sparred twice, and there's always it's going to be. That fight.
On the other hand, Ryan Garcia is coming off a loss to Gervonta "Tank" Davis, a defeat that ended his unbeaten record and raised concerns about his toughness. Despite his massive popularity and star power, Garcia hasn't fought since that loss, leading fans to wonder if ring rust might be a factor when he steps into the ring on May 2nd. Many believe Garcia should face a tougher opponent to help get his career back on track, but some feel that Rolando "Rolly" Romero isn't the right choice. With other strong names like those of Ramirez and Josh Taylor in the division, there are those who think a more deserving fighter should have been given this opportunity instead.
Right off the...
Ryan Garcia said that he would give a shot to Rayo Valenzuela. What do you think about that fight if it happens?
Give a
Rayo. That's what he said.
Because we're Ryan, it could be. He's talking about
Rolando "Rolly" Romero's sudden inclusion in the fight has sparked a lot of criticism. Many boxing fans feel that Romero's skill set doesn't compare to Ryan Garcia's, making the fight seem one-sided on paper. The decision to feature this matchup as the main event of a pay-per-view card has also raised concerns. Some believe Romero would be better suited as the co-main event, facing someone like Devin Haney, who is also looking to bounce back after suffering 3 knockdowns in his last fight. Pairing Romero with Haney might have made more sense, allowing Garcia to face a stronger opponent and creating a more competitive and balanced card overall.
He's 25 years old. It's natural.
Again, you gotta get down on your jack. You got.
He's got
The May 2 event isn't just about Ryan Garcia and Rolando "Rolly" Romero. It also features exciting matchups like Devin Haney facing Jose Ramirez and a heavyweight battle between Martin Bacol and Fega O'Hara. These fights bring more excitement to the card, but it's clear that all eyes are still on the main event. The build-up to the fight is already underway, with both Garcia and Romero throwing insults at each other on social media. Romero, never one to avoid controversy, has been quick to remind Garcia of his loss to Gervonta "Tank" Davis. Meanwhile, Garcia has dismissed Romero, calling him a paper champion with nothing to offer. Their rivalry goes back years, with a lot of bad blood between them. Rolando "Rolly" Romero has always been outspoken about his dislike for Ryan Garcia, frequently mocking Garcia's flashy lifestyle and social media fame. In response, Garcia has questioned Romero's credibility as a fighter, calling him a lucky champion who got by on chances rather than true talent. Their public exchanges have created plenty of drama, which fans love to follow. While the fight has been criticized for its lack of competitiveness, it's likely to draw plenty of attention because of the strong personalities involved. For Garcia, the stakes are high.
round one, but did not go down, but Cruz, hey, hoping for the sweetest victory.
The fighter that's gonna fucking get me what I want, that may make me into a bigger star, is me versus Ryan. But I think that's premature. Me and Ryan will fight at welterweight.
You and Ryan Garcia at welterweight.
Yeah, down the line, you'll see. It's gonna be one of the biggest fights in the history of boxing.
A loss to Rolando "Rolly" Romero would be a major blow to Ryan Garcia's career, damaging his reputation and raising serious doubts about his future in boxing. For Romero, this fight is a golden opportunity to silence his critics and secure a career-changing win. The underdog story could work in his favor, especially if he can back up his trash talk with a solid performance in the ring. Leading up to the fight, both teams have been putting in the hard work. Garcia's team has focused on improving his defense and making sure he's in peak physical shape. Meanwhile, Romero has been sparring with heavier fighters to get ready for Garcia's speed and power. The differences in their fighting styles create an intriguing dynamic. Garcia's lightning-fast combinations and explosive power make him a serious threat. But Romero's awkward, unorthodox style could cause problems for Garcia if he's not careful.
Check, look. You know, there's that little trouble short right there, right? So on the listen,
If someone on Ryan Garcia's or Devin Haney's teams had decided to take a tune-up fight on May 2nd instead of jumping straight into a rematch, it might come down to which fighter needs it more: Haney, who was recently defeated, or Garcia. It could also be a matter of who would benefit from the extra preparation. Promoter Turki Al-Sheikh would likely have preferred to schedule the rematch right away, rather than having both fighters take tune-up fights that either one could lose. Garcia, however, is in a strong position to win his tune-up, since he's facing Rolando "Rolly" Romero, who was knocked out by Isaac Cruz last year. Romero isn't seen as a major threat to Garcia.
Yo no me cierro, como lo he dicho, yo aquí estoy para pelearle ahora en 140 y demostrarle que estamos igual de fuertes o más fuertes que en 135 y también callarle la boca.
Devin Haney is set to fight former unified 140-pound champion Jose Ramirez, and there's a real chance he could lose this fight. From 2019 to 2021, Ramirez was widely considered the top fighter in the light welterweight division, until he lost a close decision to Josh Taylor. While Taylor managed to score a couple of flash knockdowns, it was Ramirez's relentless bodywork and pressure that made the fight so competitive. His ability to wear down opponents and his resilience earned him a reputation as one of the most dangerous fighters in the division.
And for that right uppercut, Cruz is leaning in as
Here's Ryan talking about Rolly. Bring on Rolly. You know, he part of PBC. We already ran it once with PBC. I didn't get my get back. I'm going to beat Rolly, and we're going to have that.
If they're not fighting each other, it's on one of them, said Aid Oladipo, commenting on why Ryan Garcia and Devin Haney aren't facing off on the May 2nd card. Whether it's Haney's team or Garcia's team, someone decided against the matchup. As we've seen with promoter Turki Al-Sheikh, he's able to make fights happen quickly. We saw the Alexander Usyk versus Tyson Fury rematch happen right away, and the Bivol versus Beterbiev fight came together quickly too. Given that Haney had already mentioned wanting a tune-up fight in March with BLK Prime, it's possible he was the one who wanted to take the extra fight before facing Garcia in a rematch later in October.
To do it 5-4 now. It is pretty stationary. Now he's staying in the pocket.
For taking a more difficult fight. I mean, I would say Pitbull Cruz a more difficult fighter than Ryan Garcia. Wouldn't you agree? He's much more durable. He punches. He's aggressive. Ryan Garcia would run like a turkey.
It's more important for Devin Haney to focus on redeeming himself and rebuilding his credibility than it is for Ryan Garcia. Haney lost to Garcia in their first fight and was knocked down 3 times. After that loss, Haney's camp seemed visibly shaken, which was a stark contrast to the confident, undefeated fighter who entered the ring. This psychological setback might explain why his team is pushing for a tune-up fight against a tough opponent like Doza Ramirez. It raises questions about their overall strategy moving forward.
Stationary. Now he's staying in the pocket.
You ducking it, huh? Lupe, you done ducked it, huh? Yeah, you done ducked it. Yeah, y'all done ducked it. Stay quiet.
I don't like rolling the dice like this, said Aide. These guys should face each other right away. It's not like Ryan hasn't fought for a year, and Devin's had a couple of fights in between. No, Devin hasn't fought either, so they're both starting on equal footing. Why delay? Aide's frustration is shared by many boxing fans who feel that stretching out the fights with tune-ups only weakens the excitement and momentum from their first encounter. However, Aide acknowledged that Jose Ramirez is a dangerous opponent for Devin Haney. Haney is coming off a loss and a few knockdowns. He took a lot of punishment from Garcia. I watched Ramirez's fight. I was there in Riyadh against Arnold Barboza Jr., and it was a tough, competitive battle, Aide added. Ramirez's ability to adjust during a fight and his powerful left hook make him a serious challenge for anyone stepping into the ring with him.
Obviously, he's trying to say that Romero using this hook with your left hook, and that's what he's going to get.
Brian, obviously the boxing world, they just want the Haney rematch so it could be settled once and for all. What is your message? Obviously, you guys are going through the lawsuit right now, but if you and Devin can run it back again, under what terms would it be?
Run it back the same way, just a little higher weight class.
Jose Ramirez is a former unified WBA and WBC light welterweight champion. He's not someone to take lightly. This is a tough fight for Devin Haney. While Ryan Garcia might have an easier time with Rolando "Rolly" Romero for Devin, this isn't an easy win by any means, especially considering what he's been through. I'm not sure this is the kind of fight you want to dive into right after a loss. Using Ramirez as a tune-up opponent feels more like a risky gamble than a chance to prepare, and it could mess up Haney's career trajectory even further. This fight is dangerous for Haney. He's going up against the 2012 U.S. Olympian and former WBC and WBO 140-pound champion Jose Ramirez. This isn't just a tune-up, it's a serious challenge. Before Haney lost to Garcia, Ramirez would have had a great shot at beating him. But now, with that loss behind him, Ramirez has an even better chance of winning.
Along the right, there's a shot to the body to the left to round number 4.
He wins a rematch against Ryan Garcia. How do you think that fight would play out if they were to fight again with obviously no drugs involved this time?
I know he's strong mentally, so he can win for sure, but it all depends on how he's feeling after he gets back. Is he the same fighter? Let's see. We got to find out.
As for Ryan,
if you're Devin, you don't want this kind of fight, said Aide. Ramirez's toughness and constant pressure in the ring make him a nightmare for fighters trying to rebuild their confidence. Ramirez is still a very dangerous opponent, so I don't like this risky decision either. And again, it's not about Turkey. Someone on either side said no to this fight. If they hadn't, it would be happening right now. Aide's voice reflected the concern and uncertainty surrounding the situation. Haney's decision to face Ramirez could be a risky one. raising doubts about whether it's the right move for him at this point in his career. Interpret it as bravery, but it also invites skepticism about whether his camp is underestimating the toll this fight could take on his career.
Romero has those long arms, and when he tries to exchange, round three, they combine.
So you think he need a tune-up?
Definitely need a tune-up or two.
Think he should do a fight before?
I know that's messing with his mental. That whooping you just took, whether he was off the PEDs or not, which he was, but still, like, the world saw you take that.
Oscar De La Hoya is known for speaking his mind, and his latest comments about Devin Haney and his father, Bill Haney, are no exception. In the latest episode of his popular Clapback Thursday series, De La Hoya unleashed a verbal attack on the Haney camp. He made it clear that if Devin wants a chance at redemption against Ryan Garcia, significant changes need to be made, starting with cutting ties with his father, who also manages him. Both Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia are currently on separate paths, preparing for their own fights in May on a stacked Ring magazine card. This will be their first appearances since their highly debated and drama-filled fight earlier this year.
One of the fights that he definitely wants to see and his priority this year is obviously the rematch with Ryan Garcia. How does it feel for you to be able to hear that that's a priority for him?
I mean, it feels great because at the end of the day, that's a priority for me. There's a lot of unfinished business in that fight. So that's a fight that I think that has to happen sooner or later. And so I'm happy.
The excitement for their rematch is growing, but as Ryan Garcia's promoter, De La Hoya has laid down some firm, non-negotiable conditions for the Haney camp if they want the fight to happen in October. He didn't hold back when talking about Bill Haney's involvement in his son's career. I feel bad for Devin Haney because you almost never hear him speak. His dad does all the talking, De La Hoya started, setting the stage for a heated rant. The CEO of Golden Boy Promotions expressed his frustration with how Bill Haney has managed his son's career, especially after Devin's tough loss to Ryan earlier this year. According to De La Hoya, Bill Haney's handling of the situation turned what could have been a minor setback into a full-blown public relations disaster. Sure, Devin had a tough loss, but it shouldn't have ended his career. It could have been fixed easily, De La Hoya added.
His first championship. Close out the third round.
And we know damn well he don't really want the rematch because he just claimed, I don't want no rematch. So there won't be no rematch. I believe it was the easiest fight I've ever had in my life. So I'm not going to fight him again. I felt like I was fighting an amateur. I made it look like he shouldn't even be in the ring with me. But if he want to do it again, I'm going to end him even worse because he's never going to be the same after the ass whooping. You take an ass whooping like that?
De La Hoya continued his criticism, saying that if it weren't for Bill Haney, who made the situation worse than it needed to be, things might have turned out differently. I've never seen a bigger mess when it comes to a boxer's career, he stated. Their first fight in April was supposed to answer the question of who the better fighter was, but it did nothing of the sort. Ryan Garcia put on a dominant show, knocking down Haney multiple times on his way to a clear victory. The fight was a disaster for Devin, but rather than accepting the loss and focusing on improving, De La Hoya claims that Bill Haney made things even worse. All Devin had to do after losing to Ryan Garcia last April was admit, he beat me. I couldn't block his left hook. And then get back to training, De La Hoya said.
Ryan Garcia, you read somewhere you fought him amateur like 5 times? 6 times.
Instead of focusing on getting back on track, De La Hoya claims Bill Haney made a series of decisions that only hurt Devin's career and reputation. Rather than preparing for a comeback fight in 2024 and helping his son improve his defense, especially against Ryan's left hook, Bill Haney opted to take things in a different direction. According to De La Hoya, Bill chose to have Devin sue Ryan for battery and emotional distress, sue Golden Boy, and even the New York Athletic Commission to try to erase Devin's loss from his record. On top of that, they planned a bizarre fight against a civilian at the Orange County State Fair and took the rest of the year off, further making enemies along the way. De La Hoya didn't hold back, saying, they've cemented their legacy as the biggest crybabies in boxing history.
Like I said, I'll be ready for whatever happens. It's looking like I'm going to fight Teofimo Lopez, so that's good. You know, I've seen him today. It's a little strange, but other than that, he's ready to whoop his ass.
De La Hoya claims that things have gotten so bad for Devin and Bill Haney that they've resorted to desperate measures. He alleges that the two traveled to London to ask Saudi boxing mogul, Turki Al-Sheikh, for financial help. Last week, Bill and Devin were in London begging Turki for money because they had no other options, De La Hoya stated. He went on to say that the only way Devin still has any value in boxing is by facing Ryan Garcia again. And according to De La Hoya, Bill, in his words, pimped his son out to the man who had already beaten him so badly that he ended up suing him for battery. I couldn't make this up if I tried, De La Hoya added.
He kind of got back into this fight.
The way Ryan Garcia handled Devin Haney, to me personally, doesn't call for a rematch. Once Ryan gets back in action, once Ryan gets back in rhythm, and maybe has a tune-up fight, possibly in...
Despite the ongoing tension, De La Hoya confirmed that the rematch between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia is still possible. But there's a catch. The fight is scheduled for October, but De La Hoya made it clear that the Haneys must drop their lawsuit against Ryan Garcia and Golden Boy Promotions. De La Hoya expressed confidence that the lawsuit would be dismissed, pointing out that it lacks any real merit. Of course, the Haneys will drop it because they don't have a case, he stated. He further emphasized that it's unheard of for a fighter to sue another fighter for battery, adding with sarcasm, unless Devin plans to sue his next opponent too.
Who's strengthened that is Rolando Romero.
What did Canelo tell you in London?
He just told me that it's easy where I'm gonna beat
0311.
beat Devin again. So that's what.
De La Hoya made it very clear that if Devin Haney wants to rebuild his career and secure that big rematch with Ryan Garcia, he needs to separate himself from his father. This is a business, De La Hoya said. Devin needs to wake up and realize that his father is holding him back. Bill isn't helping him win fights. He's turning him into a joke. If Devin really wants another shot at Ryan, he has to make a change and cut ties with his father. De La Hoya's comments have sparked a heated discussion among fans and experts. Some agree with his view, saying that Bill Haney's influence has hurt Devin's career, while others feel De La Hoya is overstepping by trying to control the narrative leading up to the rematch. Right now, both fighters are set to appear on the May card, but all attention will be on October, when the rematch is expected to happen. Whether Devin Haney is willing to accept De La Hoya's terms, especially the one about his father, is still unclear. The ball is now in Devin's court. Will he make the necessary changes to face Ryan Garcia again, or will his father's influence continue to be an obstacle? One thing is certain. If the rematch happens, the build-up will be just as intense as the fight itself.
Down as a play. The right moment, and it was right there for...
Fight Ryan Garcia has been entertaining, but I don't know. It's just the way he throws punches looks weird as shit.
What do you mean?
He just bro, he throws these hooks at like fucking 200 miles an hour and shit.
The fight between Rolando Romero and Ryan Garcia could be thrilling. Both fighters bring a lot of power and aggression to the ring, but Garcia's speed and precision, especially his powerful left hook, might give him the advantage. Romero's awkward, heavy-hitting style could pose a threat early on, but his defensive weaknesses might allow Garcia to take advantage. Ryan's ability to knock down Devin Haney shows just how strong his power and timing are. If Garcia can control the distance and pace of the fight, Romero may have trouble closing in. Ultimately, Garcia's cleaner technique and faster counters could lead to a stoppage in the middle or later rounds. What do you think? Share your thoughts below, and don't forget to like and subscribe for more updates. See you in the next one.